just kind of take it from there, if that makes sense.
That sounds great.
Yeah, honestly too, Ross, thanks for helping me out with the information. I did find buried in the emails, I did find the deck that included like the brands and some of the metrics for the catalog. It's actually a really good sort of PR piece for the program. And so yesterday, just to give you guys an update, I did review, I put together a 3-year forecast, right? This kind of came up last minute. I was out of the country and the boss decided he wanted more, wanted more like all of a sudden in the budget meeting. And so I put together a 3-year forecast. I reviewed it with him yesterday and it was received quite well. And so the word is we're going to work on higher level approval now. And in the meantime, I think we just kind of continue to have some, we keep things high level right now because I can't, there's no confirmation at the moment. But we're working on it. I think the only thing that really came up yesterday, just to give you guys a little insight, and it was the one he's like a human calculator, right? Just some background on our boss. I mean, this guy is like having to present numbers is it's an interesting endeavor, right? So the one thing that came up was just I had to kind of explain, the bands a bit. He was getting stuck a little bit on like why we're only like if we chose the way I put together the forecast is I chose for US for year one 25% redemption band, right? And I chose that for a number of reasons. I think it's logical. I think it's like based on what we see now at the moment, and without trying to lean into a crystal ball, I think it's safe to assume that band will serve us well in year one. But that said, I had to kind of remind him that it doesn't mean that everyone's going to concentrate, right? Like we're not saying the way the model works is it's 25% at max, right? Let's say at like 8 courses per
Yeah.
quarter. That's not the reality. That's not how it's going to work. It's simply for modeling. Like I think there'll be
Yeah.
a handful, and I'm sure you all can confirm based on your experience. You're going to get a handful of people that are going to go all out, right? They're going to max out their learning. They're going to redeem everything they can. But I think the reality is that is going to be a lot more people are kind of going to be spread out. You're going to get some people that are going to complete a few courses here and there throughout the quarter, and they will redeem, but it's not going to concentrate all of that 25% max. So I think that was the one thing that you kind of got stuck on yesterday, but I think I explained it through. And so I just based on based on that, I mean, do you guys have any feedback and think like again a 25% redemption band? It's conservative, but I think it's appropriate for a year one, trying to get a run rate behind us for year one.
Hey Ross, do you want to give John kind of an idea on some of the internal conversations we had with how we initially came up with that logic?
Yeah, so I think if I don't have the proposal in front of me, so forgive me if I'm misstating, but I
You
think
based it on our numbers. Yeah, I mean that's kind
yeah,
of like yeah, our MAUs.
right. So I think we had the three
Yeah,
scenarios of redemption, right? Between I think
we
it was
did.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
So and obviously we're not without having a ton of background on the program. I think we were just trying to cover all bases in that part
yeah,
of the program.
yeah,
So
yeah.
It's a bit of a
obviously
guess.
right.
And that I think that's the main point too. That's like
It's an
honestly,
educated guess.
yeah, honestly, again, it's like leaning into a crystal ball to a certain extent. And I think that I think the case was made yesterday that really, I think leaning into a conservative band for year one is appropriate for us, given that we apply a few mitigation methods, right? And so this is kind of something we can talk about too as we kind of move down the road. But it doesn't mean that like we're going to get totally creamed, right, each quarter. And if
Mhm.
it's and that's good, if we get a good burn rate, that informs us, right? It instructs us onto, once we get to that 70% sort of redemption burn, Then we can make some decisions. Do we cut it over to like an auction tool? Do we cut it over to the sweepstakes model? And then what that does is allows us to then put forward a revised kind of like say an upgraded budget for Q2 or for the subsequent quarter, right? It gives us some intel because right now we're blind.
It gives you a governor.
I think,
is what it
Yeah,
does.
governor.
Yeah,
That's
and-
it. That's it.
Yeah,
That's the best
it
way
gives
to
you
put
a governor, and your explanation to your boss, the human calculator, was spot on.
it. Ooh, yeah, he's
like high redemption is a good problem to have too. So
it
I think,
is. Yeah. And that was his thing. So his thing was like he didn't have a problem with like I don't think it was necessarily the modeling itself. He understands, right? You're not it's not going to all concentrate at max at the 25%. There's going to be some spread, and that's fine. And we're going to get good engagement. We're going to see engagement lift. But what he was saying is like, why wouldn't we? Why aren't we offering more? Why are we only saying like, a quarter of people are going to come in and do this? And that was the part I had to kind of like walk through. Like, no, it's for modeling purposes. It's so that we can wrap our brains around it, right? It's
Exactly
right.
right.
It's so we can visualize it. It doesn't mean that that's going to be real world condition, but I do think that we'll see. I think we're gonna exceed the band. I think potentially at some point in year one. And that's not a bad problem. So
Yeah, and like all programs, they evolve. You're gonna
yeah,
learn.
yeah, totally.
You're gonna learn a lot within the first 3, 6, 9 months,
Yeah,
and we can pivot along the way. It's very easy.
Exactly. And I think the case was made. I think again. From that perspective, for the forecast and modeling confirmation, I think we're in a good spot. So I just got to stay on top of him. He knows, he understands this is super important to our business, just in general. I think the other thing that piqued interest was that um, your relationship with Microsoft, Expert Zone. And Microsoft, we deal with that team now on a very regular basis, as our companies are aligning closely and collaborating on things upcoming. And they raised it with us, I think last week, right, guys? That they're keenly interested in collaborating at a deeper level, even with rewards and with platform. Because if we go this route, we're all going to be using the same tools.
Mm-hmm.
And so they brought it up to us. Let's just say our boss yesterday expressed keen interest in the fact that this is the situation. And so we think there's huge opportunities. I think down the road, if we're able to get approval on this, we'd like to kind of all of us get together, Microsoft, you guys,
Interesting.
us, and talk about, ways we could do some kinds of collaboration with rewards. And like, what if we set up something special for like big training initiatives
That's cool.
that are spearheaded by both companies. And then we'd all work together on standing up something kind of neat, like something unique and special for them to go to, because I don't think that's really been done yet.
Yeah, and that would be a great takeaway for our team,
Yeah.
Ross and Brandon, to think of ways that you can almost intertwine the two programs, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah, I think for certain initiatives, we had something really special, something real big. We wanted to make a big splash. Maybe we wanted to do some kind of like, co-branded training campaign.
Yeah.
And then we have something in collaboration, not just the training and education, but also the rewards. So it's like if you could envision like a special catalog like setup that's accessible through both platforms. It's like, oh crap, I'm a member of this program, and there's this big campaign I participated in, and now I have access to this.
Love that.
Yeah. So I think
Ross,
that's
Brandon, do you see anything operationally that would prohibit that from working? I mean, it's two separate programs essentially doing similar things, so I don't see any issues with it.
From a functional standpoint, they can both use the same catalog. We would just have to keep in mind that they're coming from two different sources. So it's not like they would be sharing like a balance. Also with the Microsoft program, they use all credits, which is just a different form of currency. But as far as the actual reward offerings, we could definitely intertwine them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's something like, if down the road, something that Microsoft and our team could work on too, is like really special items, some special stuff, things that could be, you just couldn't get anywhere else. So just food for thought, something to think about. Look, it was brought up to us unsolicited. We've been thinking about it in the background, but I thought it added extra gravity to the conversation, into the forecast review I had yesterday. So I just wanted to get that on your radar and let you know this is something that's being talked about a bit behind the scenes as we kind of looking down the road. The other thing I kind of wanted to raise, I know that again, everything is sort of kind of squishy right now because we're not super confirmed, but again on timing, right? So I guess the thing is sort of like a realistic implementation timeline once I get the green light. I know that you're really like, it's super important for us like to try to, we've got big things happening in October. So really in that window before October is when between August and September, kind of in those 2 months is when we really want to start to get things rolling. Is that unrealistic to you guys, or being that we have COSO is already on board and ready to roll? They're ready to pull the trigger on getting the digital wallet built, and they're fully informed. I just actually spoke with them, I think, yesterday. So
Yeah, a lot of BIG's work is actually pretty light lift. I said we're
that's
going to be
great.
tied in. We're going to be tied in directly to the COSO wallet that they'll be working,
Yeah.
and all the conversations we've had with them is that they're going to be building it based off of the kind of
Yeah.
documentation that we provided.
Okay.
So all goes to plan. BIG shouldn't have to do a whole lot of, I
Okay.
guess, dev work on our side. It's more getting the reward experience dialed in,
Yeah.
apply any filters, things like that, and obviously test in UAT.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of our work is basically
Okay.
dependent on COSO's
Digital wallet
building
build.
to our specs.
Okay.
Yep.
So then with that in mind, what we intend on doing, and I think we've discussed this before, we need to, one of our mitigation, one of our governors will be to rebalance points Q1 every year. And again, management appreciated this approach. Right. It's for a lot of obvious reasons. It's good to clear the deck at least once a year. In this instance for launch, our team is gonna clear the deck at launch. Is there anything you need, like you want us to consider, or you think we should look out for in terms of, we're essentially going to retire everything, retire all the courses and republish like a set of essential content. I think we're looking at about 20 courses and we're going to peg them at the 25 points. We'll have an array of other courses too, like smaller bite-sized learning objects that'll be worth far less points. And we're going to do those calculations some point this week, next week, and have a full suite of like what will be available, what's the point liability, what's everything we intend on launching with. Is there anything else you from your perspective we should consider or you would need from us, or do you want to, like, how involved do you want to be in that part and understanding our economics?
I think having visibility would be very helpful.
Cool.
What we found, even when BIG
Yeah.
is just the kind of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
gallery and the rewards portion, a lot
Yeah.
of customer service questions come to us as far as like, where's my points? I should have this.
Perfect. And
So
you guys will have the
having,
intel then.
yeah, so
We'll
at
give
least
you
being able to
everything you need.
respond to those.
Okay.
Obviously, the logic for the kind of expiring or clearing out the points will have to live
Yep.
within the wallet, because
Yep.
every time somebody logs in or accesses the gallery from the COSO wallet,
Also,
we
yeah.
check the point balance, and then we kind of do a couple different exchanges to make sure that they
Yeah.
have enough points to make the
Because
purchase.
there's like lifetime points, and then there's points they've already
Correct.
redeemed, and then points they have like available to spend. Yeah, that's cool. So Brian Kellison and I think this week we're gonna kind of start to put together the economics, the point associations, the team that's here now. We're all kind of reviewing what we have right now in the catalog. and then what we believe is essential to sort of launch with, and then we'll have another bucket that again, it's the smaller bits of learning objects that they won't necessarily be worth 25 points each, but we'll start kind of looking at that stuff and what seems reasonable based on like the point spread and based on the redemption band we kind of want to stay within. So we'll do a little math, and then what we'll do is we'll share with you all kind of what we're looking at and what the points liability we're looking at, during that launch window. And then kind of the way we're looking at the math, and then the way I was kind of looking at that redemption band for year one, it would make sense for us not to sort of exceed like a cadence of two good essential courses per month. Seems reasonable. It keeps us within that window of that liability window. If 1 in 4 is maxing out on points, what's reasonable to make available for them. So we'll share all that with you, and then you can gut check us and tell us we're crazy, or maybe we need to kind of adjust from your perspective. But we'll be really open to your feedback on this step.
Yeah, we'll be happy to provide it. We can do the analytics and
cool.
Hope you get to your budget
target. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, so I guess that'll be really helpful for us. So we'll have something together shortly. And again, I don't want to like put too much on y'all yet until we get a green light. The other thing, I guess on my list here is the SOW, like final SOW and all that. What do you need from us in order to turn the proposal into a final SOW? Do you need, obviously we need the green light. Once I get that, I'll tell you guys, let's run. But is there anything else you'll need from us to get that in a good position so I can get that submitted?
Yeah, and we'll connect internally. One of the unknowns at this point is if there is any dev work required by BIG based on the wallet build. So we're kind of accounting for like maybe minimal work where they kind of make some adjustments. But if there's anything beyond that, then we'll have to kind of work with COSO and figure out kind of the best way forward on that.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's good. All right. That's helpful. And then we already sort of discussed burn control and liability, and then catalog and learner experience. Again, I think I'm pretty well informed based on the deck you provided us. I think it is like super helpful. It's a really good PR piece. So it was great because having a snapshot of the some of the brands available, some of the reward types available, and then the exposure, kind of the reach globally is a big deal. So that's very helpful. I noticed you did mention something about trips, like vacations and stuff are also an option. Yeah, I mean, do you have any little more info on that? Like, how does something like that work, and how have you seen other customers implement that big of a reward?
Yeah, so that it is available. So with those, it's essentially if you can bank your points over time, and obviously if you have enough of a balance, you can go into the travel catalog and then kind of choose your own adventure, which can include hotels, flights, transportation, some experiential things. But it all depends on the total of points you have. Obviously, if someone's not going to get to that total for like at least a decent trip, then it probably wouldn't be worth even including it within the list of available rewards. But it is there if you do have some sort of high value prize at the end of the year or whatever it is. So
I'm wondering if it's something like, again, Clay, Chris, BK. I'm wondering if, I don't know the mechanics, if possible, but it's almost like it's something. If that's a possibility, if that's a potential option in the rewards quiver, I almost wonder if it's like, is it something we try to offer like as like a special auction, or is it part of a sweepstakes? Not necessarily tied to points, but I don't know. I'm just thinking.
I think we should make people jump through a lot of hoops for that.
Oh, of
and
course.
I feel like that's running, and like we got to walk first.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just kind of wanting to get an idea of that, because these questions did come up yesterday in my meeting. Like, it was really important having an understanding of the types of things. What our boss is super allergic to is just like stuff that's not exciting. So to hear that there's travel and trips, that's exciting. And so just a little insight into that, because I think it's something down the road we would absolutely be interested in leveraging.
Yeah, and I think with how we could set it up, Brandon, correct me if I'm overstating this, but I think we could tie a certain point type to that catalog, right? So we could only enable someone specifically to see it. So it wouldn't have to necessarily be the whole audience, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
It depends on what information we're getting from COSO when they log in. We're not going to be, to my knowledge, not using multiple point types or anything like that. So we might be able to use more demographic information on it.
Okay.
But again, it kind of depends on what we'll be receiving. As far as like the general like merchandise and gift cards and like the Apple catalog, things like that, we can set the kind of maximum reward threshold. So we don't necessarily need to be showing a $3,000 MacBook Pro if that's not an attainable reward.
Yeah.
So while we want it to be exciting, we also want it to be something that they have a chance of earning. So we can apply different filters, whether it's by brand, but like by cost, things like that.
So the other question I was going to ask is what sort of access do we have to filter out which rewards we want our folks to have access to? I'm not 100% sure offering up Apple products as a reward would go over really well. I just want to make sure what types of like administrative controls we have over what our learners get to see in the rewards catalog.
Yeah, so we can filter
out by brand and brand. Yeah,
we
can check out by brand and by category and things like that.
Yeah, gift cards, it's more by brand that we can either exclude or only include.
So we can
certain
curate
categories, correct?
Okay.
And then like the merchandise, the same thing. We like Best Buy back in the day used to have us remove all electronics from the gallery, so that kind of made them go into stores. So it's pretty substantial as far as what you can target or
and you guys still provide the reward solution for Best Buy too, right?
For the brand side of things, we do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't misspeak yesterday. So yeah, okay, we're good. BK, you have a question?
Yeah, it's about the rewards for like the experience stuff, like the trips and everything. But instead of like a trip, can you do like gift cards for experiences, or is it only gift cards for like merchandise?
There's gift cards for different not necessarily events, but I believe there's like StubHub gift cards, there's like movie theaters, I believe there's some airline gift cards available. So there's things like
that. Delta are in there.
Yeah, because some learners like experiences more than tangible things. So that's good.
Just doing a quick search. Obviously, it's not all of them, but there's like Carnival Cruise Lines, Amtrak, Airbnb, Delta, different cruise lines, Southwest Airlines. So quite a few options.
This is good stuff. Yeah, I think it certainly expands really in the right direction for us. Going from sort of nothing to having access to this, I think will go a long way. Is there anything like you guys again from your experience, do you what seems to be the most popular items redeemed in your experience? Like what carries the lion's share of stuff people like? Do they cash in their points and they just go for these things in particular?
We get that question a lot, and I'd say when available to the audience, because some clients don't typically want to offer gift cards for a number of reasons, but gift cards probably are by far and away the most popular when they are available. Just because cash is king and people love cash and they can get what they want.
And it gives them options.
Right, it does. But on the merchandise side, it can vary across the board based on who's participating and what the audience is like. So for example, we work with Polaris and they actually redeem like a lot of golf balls because a lot of them are like somewhat outdoorsy. things like that. So
I know I saw some of the brands. I'm like, golf. All right. I know it caught my boss's eye. So that's good.
Yeah. So it really depends on who we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's great. I think, it'll be interesting for us to see what people gravitate towards. I think it'd be fun kind of in the beginning to kind of add an array of, almost be eclectic a little bit and see what people gravitate towards, and again, like, help us kind of inform us as to what's popular. We know gift cards and things like that are going to be a must, and they're going to be very popular. But some of the merchandise, it'll be fun to kind of go through that and see what people pick.
Yeah.
Okay. The last sort of bit of just kind of, a couple questions I had just is about global expansion. Just so you all understand, the way we're positioning this is that year one, we focus on the United States. I think it's the most logical approach so that we get ourselves a full year of run rate behind us, rather than like a partial snapshot or anything. I think it just get one region down, get really good at it and get some good data. And then our plan is in year two, to quarter over quarter sequentially, roll a new region out in year two, like quarter 1, 2, and 3, starting with Southeast Asia. And then we'd roll out to Latin America, and then we'd roll out to EMEA. Do you see any issues with that from your perspective, doing a staggered rollout of regions, year two?
Not from us. Like I
Yeah.
said, we'll be receiving the user's country when they access the reward site, so that kind of determines what rewards
Right.
are available to them, since all of the
Perfect.
catalogs are kind of in country. So
Yeah,
obviously, like,
relative to the country, I
yeah,
think that's really
they'll have
cool.
different options.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll just, again, we'll coordinate like prior to adding a new country or region.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we have all the additional catalogs set up, make sure any
Okay.
of those filters are in place. So again, you have flexibility in terms of different filters within different catalogs within different
Yeah.
countries.
Okay.
So there'll be some coordination ahead of time, but functionally there shouldn't be any issue.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, right? You get the order, and then that tells you where it needs to go.
Correct.
At some point, are you be really cool again that the deck that you shared with me, do you have anything similar to that specific for regions? Just because the only reason I ask is because it'd be great for us to be able to start circulating ahead of time with our colleagues, and start giving them a preview of what we're working towards for them in terms of rewards. Like, for example, Southeast Asia, if you had something similar to that deck, that kind of like showed some of the brands and things that they would have access to, that would be really cool. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Can you remind me when I sent that deck, or one of us sent that deck?
Oh, let me see. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me.
Because I don't think that one was recently, was it?
I think it.
Yeah,
I think it's
like
I
May.
think it says May 2026.
Yeah,
It's the
it was-
PowerPoint.
it was
Oh, so it
May.
was. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I remember we provided some stuff to you guys last
You
year
did.
too. So I'm
Yeah, I
trying
had
to
to dig it
go-
out. Yeah, in my brain, I was like,
It's the one, Ross, where it has like their logo on the front,
yeah,
award
Yeah,
selection
okay.
options through Business Impact Group.
yeah,
That's right.
that's the
Okay.
one. If you had something like that, like for the regions, that would be super cool, because again, those kinds of things, that's what sort of makes it real, and it connects. It'll connect our counterparts with like, oh, okay, this isn't just like in the ether. This is some real stuff, and it'll get them excited.
You just want us to take a stab at kind of curating an assortment to get them pumped about the program.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can update those. So you want to just Southeast Asia, EMEA, and Latin America? Is that right?
Yeah, so like Southeast Asia also includes, it's like we call it ROAP, rest of Asia Pacific, so it includes like Australia and New Zealand and stuff. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Japan is now part of it. So it would be Southeast Asia, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. And where did India go? Is India You guys, BK is India. India is still part of ROAP as well, right?
Yeah. The other Singapore and
Yeah.
what is it? Philippines.
Yeah,
But
and the
they
Philippines.
do English. So they're Australia
Yeah, but they're
English. But
part
yeah,
of
that's
the
also
ROAP
they're
region
all
still.
part of
Yeah.
ROAP, and then
Okay.
there's JPAC, which is Japan has been folded into APAC. So
Yeah. So
we
that's
have
that's
so
kind
many
of
we have
we
so many
just don't
acronyms.
we just don't cover China right now. So it's basically Japan,
Mainland.
Southeast
Yeah,
Asia,
mainland.
yeah, Singapore, Taiwan. So if you want, I can send you a list of the countries if that's easier.
So I think what I'll do is so like basically the way our catalogs work, it's all based on country specifically, but I don't
Okay.
want to inundate you with too much like information.
I
So I think I'll
gotcha.
just kind of give you a kind of high level overview of each of the regions that you have,
That's perfect.
including something from a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, no, that'll do. That's perfect. That'll work. And I
And then-
suspect just for your own kind of just your own information, I think like what we'll end up seeing, especially with ROAP, we'll see a lot of activity out of Taiwan. We'll see a lot of activity out of Thailand, right out of the gate, and potentially Australia and India.
Philippines.
Philippines. Well, we have a
it's not
we have a
even
call center there.
promoted, but
They'll go crazy. Yeah, we have a call
we
center.
don't even really do much with them, but they're
No.
very active.
They're going to go for the points. That I can see that. I can see that group of learners is they're gonna like max redeem. I guarantee it. They're gonna they're gonna burn up the points. It'll be cool. It's a good problem again.
Ross, why don't we just work internally to create one master deck, and maybe we send it in a PowerPoint format so that John can kind of slice and dice depending on who he's communicating to.
I mean, I was just gonna like take this existing deck and just add to it if that works.
That worked for me. Yeah, that worked for me because that was the deck was excellent. So
Great.
A little regional context, and then we're ready to roll.
Cool. What about merch? Is merch something that you think people will be interested in? Because I know that was part of that deck. I think it was the last page of the deck.
Yeah, like merchandise. You're talking about like
custom merch, like swag, t-shirts, hoodies.
Oh yeah.
Branded drinkware.
Yeah. That's 100% going to be popular.
Okay.
And I think what the way we can approach that is I think that'll be contextual, right? So like branded stuff, like say for example, like we've got, we're doing some big training efforts with a partner of ours. Or we're doing something for like there's like a game release or something
Co-branded.
important. Yeah, and then I think that's when we would lean into that. And I think that'll be huge. So if we had like, there's some kind of big launch going on in a given month, and we build some training program around it, we want to make sure that we have something co-branded available in that catalog. And we'd work with a partner, we work with you guys, whatever the process is for that, to get that stuff, make it available. Yeah, that's a big deal. I noticed that, and that was a big plus too.
How do we consider corporate constraints around custom branded items, John?
Yeah, like our own corporate team.
Yeah, they
well,
you know them.
Okay. Yeah, no. So what I think is like, say for example, there was like a game developer, or we have one of our partners, right? Our OEM partners or somebody. I think as so long as we're not mixing our brand with theirs, if we work in partnership with a partner and be like, hey, look, we have this opportunity to make this available in our rewards catalog. What kind of feedback do you have? I think that'll be, Chris, I think that's the path to go.
Yeah, I think partner branded stuff is more likely because like here's the deal. Anytime we anytime we want to make just a really cool GeForce or NVIDIA branded piece of merch, they shut it down.
No, we're not. They're very Chris.
Why do they do that?
They're very precious about our brand.
The largest brand in the world is very well protected.
They're very let's just say they don't they maintain very strict control over what gets created that our brand gets put on. Even internally, we have a very, very difficult time gaining access to that kind of stuff, and then generating a new merch that's like not a thing.
You guys are going to collaborate well with Microsoft because they're kind of in the same boat with their restrictions on using their own brand.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be kind of twins in some ways.
I said, John, maybe we figure out how to do limit buys and pull in some of the stuff that we do have access to.
Well, we did. Clay actually placed an order. I think we have a bunch of NVIDIA branded stuff. So that was another.
We got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So that was a question I had for you guys too. Like, okay, we got our hands on like a handful of. We just wanted to do sort of a test run, right? We got access to NVIDIA Gear Store merchandise, but like not really like not apparel or anything. They still won't let us like get our hands on that. But we got access to an array of other things, right? What is there a way for us to be able to send some of this stuff to you guys in theory and like for fulfillment? Like if we had a bunch of NVIDIA stuff and then we load it in our catalog that way.
In the US, it's not an issue, but once you start,
that's all we would be doing it in.
Yeah, the US. In the US, it's easy. I mean, we do that every day, but once it becomes global, then there's a lot of there's a lot of obstacles you have to try and get over.
I think that's even on our side that
we can solve the regions getting that stuff in.
They can do it themselves. Yeah. They can do that themselves. But for us here, that's a wonderful bit of news. So we have a bunch of stuff that we ordered recently, and it's just kind of we got it sitting in a warehouse. So when the time comes and we're able to kind of move forward, we'd like to be able to get that stuff over to you guys and have it added to our catalog. It's just some NVIDIA branded stuff. Nothing super exciting. Our boss hates it, but it'll do.
The item quality is quite good though. As much as they're difficult to get our own branded merch, they do make nice stuff.
They make really good stuff. It's just
Well, if it ever becomes a talking point down the road and you want us to create merch, it sounds like obviously there's significant restrictions. We do have an entire side of our business that's all we do is merch. So that is an option.
That's amazing. Okay, so I think that's going to be really helpful, Clay. I think for you, like in our conversations with partners and stuff, as we like move ahead with like learning campaigns down the road, I think it just adds something to your toolkit, right? It's something we can always raise with partners, getting sort of branded merchandise with their approval spun up and in our rewards catalog for their efforts.
Yeah, and doing pre-production samples and getting the proper sign off and all those things, we're very familiar with that process.
Brilliant.
And I think it's unique. A lot of other engagement companies, they don't have an entire side of their business that specializes in branded merch and fulfillment.
No, I know this. Yeah.
We want it. We're just,
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? It's everybody. When you do it right, it can be very effective, and it can definitely motivate and build culture internally.
Yeah.
I mean, with Microsoft, they have something called Ninja Cat, which is like an internal mascot that, like, if you see it, you know it.
Yeah.
And we've done like countless projects with Ninja Cat, and it absolutely goes gangbusters.
Yeah, gone. Yeah, doesn't last. Yeah, that's the direction we're looking to head towards. So I think I mean for me, I think that's really all I had for today. I just felt it would be a good idea to kind of just all come to the table again because things are kind of moving quick, and I hit you guys with a lot of requests this past week or so, but I wanted to give you guys a verbal update on progress and let you know we've crossed a couple of big hurdles. So now it's just a matter of like higher level approvals. And so just so you know, I'm going to stay on top of this. I'm going to be pretty persistent with my management and work towards getting a green light as soon as possible so we can hit the ground running and get the wheels moving here.
Do you have like a line in the sand, John, on what you're trying to target for approval for that green light?
I mean, we need this thing, like, I mean,
because if by October y'all turn into pumpkins, then like
I know, yeah, like that. I mean, honestly, I wanted to start kind of getting this thing. Wanted to start the work like soon, like by August. Like we need to start work like moving. So that's kind of my line in the sand. I'm I'm going to be like I said, pretty persistent on very regular cadence, to the almost the level of annoying, to get this thing moving so that we can kick off in August and get rolling as quickly as possible.
And if there's anything you need from us, feel free to reach out. And if there's anything we can do ahead of time, like
absolutely
NDAs or any like kind of red tape.
I think we have our NDA signed, right? We're all good there. We should, Murph. I think we're good. Do we need something different than what we already have on file?
Ross, Brandon, do you know if we have all that stuff in place?
I'm pretty sure. A question for Elsa.
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah.
Okay. We'll confirm on our end, John. But if there's anything
see if there was an expiry. Yeah, if there was an expiration date or something, then we'll just renew it.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. Okay. Cool. I think that should be it for now. I'll reach out to you guys again. Thank you so much. You guys are so fast in your responses. It made a huge difference for us as we rolled up our forecast. It really buttoned us up. So I'll stay in touch. If any other additional questions pop up, I'll be on the lookout for that additional deck. And then I'll let you know as we move towards approval.
Perfect. And we'll send you this transcript to keep us all on the same page.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Cheers, you guys. Have a good rest of your week.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Talk soon. Bye.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.